We're going to see who are with us. And the famous words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Truth. Now he said, in hopes that we wouldn't see it first, but truth must be told.
And the ancestors are looking out for us. God Hayes is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown letter.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Hey, Robot to all my night owls. I see it got the moon goddess up with us. Peace to the moon goddess. We got a couple people up with us. Shout out Nicole, the Bays, the L's. Right? Shout out 14 in the building. Hey, y'all. We here to give you the synopsis on Yacub. So we got all the whole lineup. We just dropped the Frugal Lord tape. Yacub's Drafted Beans. We got Elijah Muhammad breaking it down. We got all of these tapes in the descriptions, by the way, as well. We got 2 tapes with Rod Hayes breaking the story of Yacub down. I got a tape or 2. We got the tribe of Where's the Tribe of Shabazz tape broke down. We got Who is the 80J Black Man with Rod Hayes broke down. So we pretty much summing it up on who the Black Hand is, who's who. We getting into it. But as I was putting together, people was asking, how did I put the Yacub's book of Tricknology together? Well, it's a combination of several things. Combination of the Holy Tablets, the Learned Elders of Zion, the 48 Laws of Power, just a whole bunch of books. The AI, I typed in where I wanted like a whole transcript. Then I gave it to AI and told them what I wanted to put in it from the different, just grab from wherever. And then I named a whole bunch of books that these guys study. That's in their library, and that's what came out with the Book of Yakub. Plus, I understood that the tricks of the devil in the Bible with the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and how Yakub said he was gonna do that. Now people was wondering why you Yakub sound like the guy off of Last Dragon, right? Because I took parts of the Last Dragon, some of the stuff that Sham'oon said. Because Sham'oon is a perfect example of the type of narcissist guy that Yacub was. He always wanted you to bow, kneel. That's how you said. Like, look. I when I wrote the shit, I was able to channel him. And me and my girl was like, oh yeah, you need to go ahead and get this week over with, so you can go to your next whatever you gonna do next, right? Because you got that Yacub energy on you, right? So like, so I was like, oh yeah, so I'm gonna go to the next. I'm gonna go get over the Yaqub thing. But as I was putting it together, the whole Yaqub synopsis, I was channeling Yaqub, like I was like not channeling him, but I was going like astro traveling back then, 8,400 years ago to see how he was, and I got a chance to go around and see how he was, and he looked just like they got the picture right that we got. He looked just like that. So if his head, it's hard to his head is a little bigger than what like you see it, be like, damn, this nigga head big, right? And but he was tall, and he was built, right? And he kind of had the same demeanor as the dude showed enough on The Last Dragon with Bruce Leroy. And he made people, the way showed enough was always like bow or bow down and kiss my shoes, sucker. And he had a certain type, his demeanor was a certain type of like a 80s type, you know, can you dig it? You suckers. Like that was like how his attitude was, his demeanor. But to look, Yaqub was swole. Like he was kind of built, like kind of like Tookie Williams, right? And the reason why he got built like that is because he was going to jail. Yaqub was going to jail, but he was getting made fun of a lot. So his thing is, all right, so what I'm gonna do is these suckers gonna make fun of me. I'm gonna beat them up, right? So he started working out and getting good with what they was calling the Mantu art form. It's called like became known as karate, you know, all these other different names they got for the different styles that was created, but the original form is called a Mantu, or the ancient Kemet, right? And so he studied the Mantu art form, and Yaqub was good at fighting. And so how he built up a following is when somebody would talk shit about him, he would get into a fight with him and beat him up real bad, right? And then he would hold him by the shirt like this and walk around and talk and like, look at this sucker. Try to step to Yaqub. You know what I'm saying? He would make an example out of him in front of everybody. And then he was so good of a trickster, he would even stage fights. Yaqub would I saw him staging fights. Like he would find a big dude that was like a big bad dude, right? And then he would pay him and say, "Look, here's what I need you to do. I need you to come out here in front of the crowd, start some stuff with me. We're gonna fake the fight, just like they did with the Mike Tyson thing, with the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. You gonna come out here, we're gonna act like we really getting down. You're gonna let me beat you up, and then I'm gonna hold you, I'm gonna tote you around and hold you around like a little rag doll in front of everybody. And then I'm gonna tell them, I'm gonna talk shit. And so everybody gonna see like, dang, Yaqub just beat up this big dude, the biggest dude, And so, but he really paid the dude to act like he, lost the fight, like he threw the fight, right? And so he started getting a more and a more bigger following. And people say, oh, Yaqub's a bad sucker, man. He just beat the biggest dude up. He walking around, and then he was funny too. A lot of people didn't follow Yaqub, or they would follow him a little bit. Then they saw how funny he was, too funny, and they say, man, we can't follow this funny ass nigga, man. He would come out there with that big ass head, and then he had a white robe on, and then he used to have some people with him. And they used to take it, just like on Show Enough, they take his little robe off, right, his little top piece when he get ready to fight, and he would walk out to the people, and then he would say, "I am Yaqub, your God. Kneel. That's how you do it. Kneel." That nigga head so big, when he say kneel, his head go back. He almost fall on the ground with that big sumo wrestling head he got, right? But he was a real, he wanted them to bow and serve him, but his whole purpose was to get back at the Nubians. And then he said that when I create this dude, his secret was, when I get through creating these people, I'm gonna let them rule for 6,000 years, and then I'm gonna come back and destroy him, to show that they prove that he God, right? And so now you begin to realize some of the we're gonna talk about Revelations chapter 20, the great chain, the 1,000 years, where these people, these Canaan, and I don't want to go too far into it, but these Hyksos, who is really Yaqub's people, They came into ancient Kemet. A brother named Akmos and Kakmos, who were from the south, it'll be the north, but south, because they switched it around because Yacub said they was gonna do that. Yacub said they was gonna tell us north is south and south is north. Even over here, really, it's supposed to be the south is really north and the north is really south, just like it is in ancient Kemet. It was like that in ancient Kemet, but Yacub said he was gonna trick us. Everything he was gonna turn everything that was around that we knew. If we thought it was south, he was gonna tell us they were gonna trick us into thinking that it was north. That way we'll be misdirected. That way we'll never figure out where we from or where we going, because we going in the wrong direction the whole goddamn on time. So that was Yacub's trick. But his people, the 6,000 years is up, but the devil got 1,000-year probation. If you read Revelations chapter 20, they came down. The angel came down with the chained them down, but then he got loosed for 1,000 years to see what he would do. This synopsis play out in like I say, Kakmos and Akmos rounded the devil up, the Hyksos up, chased them out of ancient Kemet back to the caves. They were trapped in the caves for 1,000 years until Marco Polo. Marco Polo was when after the 1,000 years was up, that's when they got released. And the first thing these guys go do, because they talk about Yacub, you know what I'm saying, the trickster. The first thing they go do is Marco Polo sail to the Vietnamese to the east because they couldn't come to the west. So the devil had a seal on them, and they couldn't sail to the west. Why? Because the Moors, the good Moors, who were labeled as pirates as well, they would rob them and take their stuff until 1492, when they got the seal from Granada with Queen Isabella, and they got the seal from Ali when they sacked Granada, so they were able to sail to the west. In 1492, that's when they used Christopher Columbus, who really used the Moor, the dirty Moors. Really, to me, if you look, it's different perspectives on the guy that helped him sail over here, because his family was in captivity by Queen Isabella and them. The guy that helped him sail, the only reason he helped them sail because they had held his family as prisoners. They killed most of the Moors, what you call April Fool's Day, right? They killed most of the Moors, and then the ones they kept were the navigators, so they can sail on this side. But it was a seal set on them, which was the skin tone, and they were locked in for that 1,000 years. Then they got released for 1,000 years, which would be, after that 1,000 years will be the 6,000 year mark, which would end the devil's rule. 6,000, and they got a 30 year deadline, which will make it to 2030, right? But like I said, when they got released, Marco Polo went and caused a war over in the Vietnamese between two brothers. It was two brothers that ruled the empire in Vietnamese, in the Vietnam, and he went over there and caused a war between them. I'm telling you, so the devil got released, and he got to put on probation to see what he would do. And he did the same thing. He did the same exact thing, and he deceived the world, just like he was going to do. That's like Yacub taught him. And so now the 6,000 years is up. It's time to collect. The 6,000 years is up. It's time for them to collect. But the thing is, like I said, if you listen to the Yacub's book of Tricknology, you will hear the plans of what's going on in the world today, how the world is being ran, and how they're poisoning the stuff that's good. He said he's gonna make the stuff that's good taste bad. Like I remember when avocado, I didn't like avocado, but then I started eating it, and then just started growing a taste accustomed to it. Like some people drink beer. I don't like beer. The taste, I don't like the taste of it. I like wine because it got sweet taste, great wine and this and that. But beer, I don't like the taste of it. You got to develop a taste for it to drink it, right? It's like it's a whole bunch of stuff. Even like it's a whole bunch of stuff I didn't like, but when I found out that it was healthy for you, I started eating it, and it started like, I started to develop. Okay, this tastes good. It's really a mind thing. It's really a mind thing, right? Once you start eating avocado or other things that's healthy for you, but you didn't normally eat, once you start telling your mind, "Hey, this is good. This is good. This is good," right? Your brain automatically reset on it because they tricked us in the mind to think that, oh, this is nasty. Oh, avocado. There's other things too, like another thing that like some people don't like garlic, but down here in Louisiana we use a lot of garlic on our food because the reason, and that's another thing too, because Dr. Sabi had another perspective on it, that garlic is acidic. Garlic is a hybrid plant, and but it's different perspectives on it, right? Because Dr. Sabi had his perspective, but he got to go to the perspective of why did the ancient Kemet, shout out Corey 85, he got to go into why did in ancient Kemet, why did the Egyptians create the garlic? And right, I'm gonna tell you why they create the garlic. The garlic killed the parasites. That's why they show you in these vampire movies of how they give these people garlic to stop the bacteria from assimilating, or the vampires from assimilating their blood, right? But the reason why they create the garlic is so because they would eat meat, and the meat some of the meat had become contaminated with bacteria. So what they would do is put the garlic with the meat to kill the bacteria in the meat. That's why they cooked the garlic with the meat. These ancient Egyptians. So that was the thing. But the people that don't eat meat, right? They didn't worry about that. But the people that did eat meat, they put the garlic with it to kill the bacteria in the meat. And that's what the purpose of it was. So it's acidic, but it's also says don't know. Oh no, we ain't messing with that. So some people do that too. They drink their own stuff. And we heard about that too. I heard that philosophy, right? But we ain't into that. That we ain't going that far with it. We ain't going that far with it. Yeah, pineapples is high on vitamin C. Vitamin C is actually good for you. I'm gonna tell you, man, it ain't that the pineapples is not good. It's just that the pineapples we getting is the hybrids and GMO, and that's what's making it. Like if it come from anything that's naturally from the earth, it's good for you. I'm telling you, anything that's naturally from the earth is good for you. You got some poisons that's that's a cure for something that they consider as poison. They used to tell us when I was little. This for example. When I was little, these berries they look good to eat, but they grew up in the backyard along the fence. And the people used to tell us, "Don't eat them berries. They're snake berries, right?" And then as I got older and started, studying Dr. Sabi and the herbal thing, found out, hey, well, those berries that they talking about were snake berries, were elderberries, the berries that's for your respiratory system, the one that clean mucus out of your body. These berries grew right on the back of the fence, and they told us stay away from them because the snakes. They snake berries. Tell you, man, did anybody your family ever tell y'all that they snake berries? But the whole time that's elderberry, and you could have quite picked those berries. Somebody had a cold or something in the house, smush them up, make you a tea out of it, and boom, there you go. Yeah, honeysuckle too. They told us that there was a snake, something dealing with the snake, or poison ivy, or this and that, right? So it's all a mind when it come down to readjusting the trick that Yacub did on our mind. We got to think that, okay, so if whatever he said he gonna make whatever's good bad. In other words, they say in the scripture, he gonna make evil fair seeming, right? Or he gonna make bad look good and good look bad. So a lot of the foods that's good for you, they make it look bad. They deter you from the good foods. And the foods that look that's bad, they make it look good, like cake. They put the icing on it, they fix it up all nice, put all the little dressings on it, and the whole time it's bad for you. So it's got them, them snake berries, what they call them snake berries, but they elderberries. Dandelion. The whole time dandelion go right there in your yard, like sunflowers, and they telling you, oh yeah, well, no, that's just regular sunflowers. We don't know that that's dandelion. Because Yacub said they gonna keep us ignorant. They gonna keep us incompetent. So what we gonna stay in this perpetuated state of sleep, a 6,000 year spell that was under the moon cycle, but now we in the sun cycle, which is why all this information is opening people's brains up, and they starting to realize the whole paradigm that, hey man, we in some kind of whole systematic game that's well thought of from different people. Because Yacub ain't the only devil. Yacub just one of the devils. Like, it just depends on who perspective, who could be a devil. Because they say Enlil was a devil. Enlil had a son. Yacub worshipped Enlil's son. Enlil's son name was Baal, Adad, the same one that supposedly Cain had a. If you go read in Jude, it said that Cain had a religion. He followed the ways of Baal, right? Baal, so Yacub followed Baal. Baal is Enlil's son. So Yacub come follow down from Enlil and Nanar now. Nanar is Baal's brother. Him and Nanar and Baal was running the operation on the dark side of the moon, smuggling the children. And Baal set up a priesthood called a Baphomet to where they could hurt 144,000 virgins, which translated to children, to get to the reptilians for a food source, so they can set up their own farm planet. So you're dealing with two fractions. When you're talking about Donald Trump, you're dealing with two fractions of reptilians. You're dealing with the Nomos, which is a fraction from Cyrus B, and then you're dealing with the Dragonians, who is a fraction from the Dragon star system. And you got to keep in mind, when you're dealing with Ashtar Command, the Great White Brotherhood, who works with anybody, they get in bed with anybody that's got down with their agenda. So they call themselves neutral beings, the Galactic Federation of Light. These guys that influence the same guys that influence Yacub. The Great White Brotherhood, she ran them as the ones that influence, jump time. They galactical criminals because they jumped back in time to influence Yacub to create his superior area race. And I seen what they did when they was talking to Yacub. And check this out, it's some funny shit because Yacub was a real devil, bruh. They said when they gave Yacub the suggestion that Yacub, you ought to create the race to rule over your since they make fun of you and did what they did to you, you ought to get back at them by creating a race that'll be superior to them for a certain amount of 1,000 years. And you know what Yacub said to them Ashtar Command? He said, you know what? That's a great idea. And then he said that they said that you should come back and destroy them, or you should get rid of them, after 6,000 years. And he said, yeah, that's a great idea. And I should get rid of y'all behind too, right? That's how Yacub, man. Yacub was a tough dude, man. He was a real live devil. You know what I'm saying? But they all worship Baal, even in the Masonic order, on the dark side of the Masons. That's what I'm talking about, my good brothers that don't know what's going on. And the ones who go back with Albert Pike and Alistair Crowley and them, who brought the witchcraft into masonry, right? Alistair Crowley they say that he was their number one witch guy, right? This guy supposedly performed the longest spell in their spell book. They got a spell book. In their spell book, the longest spell takes 6 months to do. Alistair Crowley was the only one supposedly that was performing that 6-month spell. And he was with them guys that got kicked out of and keep in mind, he connected. And we talk about if you go watch that Frugal tape that just came out, we talk about we point out some Frugaloids in it that you might know.
They Frugaloid hybrids, right? Elon Musk is a Telosian, right? The Telosians are trying to help the humans, right? Donald Trump is working with the Telosians. The Telosians are the group, the good fraction of the Frugaloids who broke off and went to go live under Mount Sasha, and they live in an advanced crystal-like city under Mount Sasha. That's probably maybe about 1,000 to 2,000 years ahead of Earth's surface. And some of them come to the surface and start putting out these cars. And then really, what you call the Cybertruck, they really was already riding them Cybertrucks maybe about 15, 20 years ago, and they was driving them on Mars and on the moon. Those really are moon trucks. That Cybertruck really is a truck that they had on Mars, driving it around already. Elon Musk them and underground, right? And Elon Musk is a Telosian that came to the surface to try to introduce this technology, right? And a lot of this technology finna get ready to roll out in 2025. A lot of stuff. The robot, they got the robot thing on standby because it could be a robot war. The police got robot dogs now. All this stuff is going on. So stay tuned. And Raw just sent me a whole bunch of receipts. We might go live and talk about those receipts about Trump going live saying that he finna go full blast at the aristocrats, the foreigners, right? The foreigners are the people who working for the laws of London, but on behalf of United States courts, and they don't have United States, Americans' best interests at hand. They just got they pirates and privateers and mercenaries taking advantage of the people, still on behalf of Yacub, right? And his people. If you notice, the credit bureau forgive your loans every 7 years. That's why they do that. Why the credit bureau supposed to forgive your loans every 7 years is because the people who control it are the Jewish people, and the Jewish law, they forgive people every 7 years. It's part of their Jewish law. So that's how you know who control these black hand guys who call themselves more Zionist Jews, who want to use their Canaanites, who the Jebusites and all these guys, the Amorites, who are over in Israel now, they want to use them guys as front man. So you'll say the white guy did it when they are the real free white guys who doing it to us. But they in avatars. You want to get a better idea of what's going on here? Go watch the movie Avatar again and understand what was going on with that thing. You had a free white guy that came in a body that looked like them. So these guys can get bodies and create avatars, and then they can transfer their consciousness through the avatar and come amongst you looking like you, but they ain't you. Now I'm gonna tell you how Doc already told us how to spot these guys, right? And I'm gonna tell you how you can spot them like this. When they get in them avatars, they really ain't got full rhythm, full control over the body. So they usually offbeat. If you go back, it's like a baby. It's like a baby trying to walk. So if you go back and watch the movie, you'll see when he first got in the body, he had to get used to the body. But he never really got actually really completely used to the body until he switched over to their frequency when he went to their home tree, right? And when he died in his other body, he completely switched his consciousness over to the avatar, right? But he was wobbly. He was offbeat. His rhythm was off. See these jokers, they rhythm off because they can't move. They move like a robot inside that avatar, right? So like Doc used to say, he said, "You want to figure out who with us? Cut the music on and tell them to dance. And if they offbeat, if the beat is right there and they way over there, right? Then they not with us because we on beat, we on time, we got rhythm, we got soul. See, they don't got no soul. They just a spirit. And like I told people a long time ago, Ashtar Commands got a machine that can generate spirits. They can generate computer spirits that can operate bodies that look like humans, but they ain't humans. They androids, they synthetics, and they really computer driven bodies. And they work in the government. And so and Trump is after these guys. I'm telling you, man. And go look at that dude. Matter of fact, one of the dudes they had is Trump's son-in-law. Go look at Trump's son-in-law. He an android, man. That dude an android, Trump's son-in-law. Yeah, go check him out. Pull him up, man. But they can't dance. They not like us. They off beat. We on beat. When you put the beat on, they wail over there. Go watch it. Go tell them to dance. That's how you can figure out if they with us. So overstand the game. Yacub's plan is ending. It's a wrap. This is the end of Yacub's 6,000 years is up. So his people are getting ready to go down. That's why everything is happening. Mystery Babylon is falling because of the 6,000 years of Yacub's plan is up. It's time to collect. It's time for them to collect. It's time for them to kick rocks. It's time for them to move on. And like I was like Raw was telling me today, the parasites, most of them are gone, but the little bit that's Raw say it's not even enough to they mostly didn't got the hell on especially since Trump won. But he said that they don't probably got even enough to set up and keep whatever, set up any game plan to try to stay here. It's pretty much a wrap. Ain't nothing they can do. The universe is kicking them off. The universe kicking them off the planet. It's a higher power even than us, or even than the Nubian the Anarchy Council. It's a higher power than them that's kicking them off Earth. Right? Because the Galactic Treaty is up in 2030. And then they got a 13-year grace period where the certain people from different galaxies get to pick up their kids. Because this is a school. This is a school. Islam is a school. Christianity is a school. All these are different grades in this school, or different classes. So you take different courses in this school called Earth, or Tiamat. It's one of the names. Key. You know what I'm saying? It's different names. Gaga, Gigi, right? Gi. It's a whole bunch of names, right? Some the Natharu call it Tari. They call Earth Tari. And the people that's on Earth, they call them Natari. Right? Right? Or Netaru, it becomes, right? So so God come from Earth. Keep that in mind. And another thing too, because people say, oh, y'all, the Anunnakis gods. Well, you can say guardians, but God is whoever's in control. And the Anunnakis need air to breathe. So the air must be God. It must be a higher power than the Anunnakis if they need air to breathe. Air is God. Remember that. Because air is in control. None of you could go without it for more than 3-4 minutes. We done heard 3-4. You go by 5-10 minutes, your brain will shut down. You go brain dead. So God is in the air. Once we got the Yacub school out, we'll be putting out. We ain't gonna tell niggas what we doing because we see people be stealing. Oh yeah, shout out B Dale, man, because I went and watched that last tape that he put out. I got a chance to watch that last tape that B Dale put out, and I said that, man, B Dale is dope, man, because B Dale, it's like he got listen to all the stuff that we got, and he tying everything in together that we saying and other stuff. He's like, he doing what we doing, and he taking it to the next level. He doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying? How we tie everything in together, he tying everything in together as well. So shout out that brother B Dale, man. The tape he just put out. He got a tape coming out tomorrow. We're gonna check that thing out too. Shout out Rod, man. And like I said, you want to check out all those Yacub tapes. Yacub drafted these people from the Hindus. The Hindus are these 200 fallen that landed in Oro, who became the Moors, the ones of Oro Chaldea. They became the fire worshippers. They brought their dragon worship with them. That's why if you go into the Hindu culture, you see the Naga, because they worship the Naga beings. And that's why if you go into ancient Kemet, the Afar people, the Somalians, most people in the ancient Kemet is mixed in with these tribe of Shabazz. Because if you go listen to the story, Shabazz disagreed with Yacub. They left in a boat and began jumping off around Africa. And some tribes mixed in with them, and some tribes didn't. But if you look at Imhotep and them, the Afar people, the Nacals and all them people, they mixed in the Somalians. They mixed in with these Hindus, and so that means if you're ancient Egyptian, you got Hindu in you. The ancient Egyptians are mixed with the Moors. So Imhotep was a Moor, and these same Moors or these Hindus, these 200 fallen, they also is the ones that influenced the building of the pyramids. And they didn't build the point on the pyramid. They came in later. They built mounds, or what they call master box, because they come from these cobra. Go look it up. A king cobra is the only serpent that build a mound. And they lay their eggs in the mound. And these beings, these Nagas who came from the Bagabuti, they build mounds. They ship even resemble pyramids when they came here. And they started out building the mounds. And then what happens is Imhotep come along and starts stacking them on top of each other. And then what happens later is the Teru come, these conehead beings from the planet Joman in the Arcturus star system close to the planet Aldebaran, and they come here, the Terus, and they begin mixing in with the humans. And up to if you go look up the bent pyramid, it's when they first start trying to put the point on it. But if you look up the pharaoh who was instrumental in setting that up, his name is Pharaoh Huni, and Huni got a cone head. Niggas think that Doc was making all this up, but like you can see all the shit, man. Like the way we put it together, you can see all of it's coming clear now. Never have it been made so clear. A lot of the pharaohs, like even Antanankan was part conehead. These guys was conehead, man. Terus, extraterrestrials came here and mixed in, and that's what Genesis chapter 6 is all about. It's about different extraterrestrials coming here to mix in with humans, creating these different genetics. Because you wonder why a lot of y'all got the receding hairline or grow the ball right here, the ball, or what you call it, the George Jefferson. That particular trait comes from the Danaco, the big head beings like Yacub. Yacub was a mixture of two different beings. The Terus, his mother was a Teru, and his father was from the Danaco, Ishaq, which caused him to have a defect, grow a brain tumor in his brain, which he eventually died from. Right? So Yacub was sick. Yacub was a sick man. So now you can understand too, a lot of people are sick and don't even know it. Yacub was sick and didn't know it. What else was I gotta say? Before we get at it, because we didn't want to hold you long, it's really late. But people to get up in the morning and watch this tape. And like I say, this really a synopsis of the Yacub story. But I was talking about the pyramids. So these Hindus influenced the building of the pyramids. We did a whole tape on it called Hindu influence in ancient Egyptian, and that Hindu influence is the tribe of Shabazz. Also, the tribe of Shabazz sailed over here under the code name the Kente tribe under Abu Bakr and Mansa Musa, who were of this tribe of Shabazz. Mansa Musa and them was from the tribe of Shabazz. Abu Bakr was from the tribe of Shabazz. How do you know? Because these people sailed around, and the last place they jumped off was right there in West Africa, and mixed in with a tribe that was already there, who was a two-part tribe that was mixed with the Dinkas and the Dogons. Right, the Dinkas is from Sudan. The Dogon people was from Ethiopia, who had migrated to West Africa with the Twa man. Right, now them two had mixed together, And then later on, the tribe of Shabazz jumped off and mixed in with them, creating a whole new tribe called the Mandinkos. Abu Bakr, them were Mandinkas, the Mulattian Moors, who settled over in 1310 and mixed in with the Washita and created a whole nother tribe called the Yamasee Native American Indians. And they were Moors. That's how the Moors get over here. Being York and all them were from West Africa. And they were Moors by way of the tribe of Shabazz mixing in with them. And so when Elijah Muhammad tell you that a lot of us, you niggas that can get the waves, you real ancient Egyptians, because the real ancient Egyptians is over here. The Washita are ancient Egyptians. The Washita are the mound builders. They are the pyramid builders. And the Cobra, like I say, the Cobra genetics come down from our ancestors who are Nagas, who were extraterrestrial beings. Some of them, for the most part, was benevolent. They came here. And like I say, Yacub was a defect, because like you say, they already had Down syndrome. Well, when they mixed with the humans, it created Down syndrome, these terus. But when they mixed, the Janakos wasn't supposed to mix with the terus. So when they did mix, this would cause Yacub to have that defect. But he was always a narcissist, trying to get people to bow before him. And like I say, he drafted these frugaloids out of these Hindus before they started mixing in with other tribes. He drafted them out. The germ, and like I say, it was an experiment to try to draft out this disagreeable. Not to mention, it was another group that was already mixed with Hindus too, as well, who were also called the Telosians, which is Adam people, the Watutsis. And I'm gonna tell you how you can distinguish these people. The key thing here, and Doc been stressing it. Doc was stressing it to us. The hair texture. The Native American, the so-called, well, they really American Indians. The American Indians over here got hollow hair. The Hindus hair got hollow hair. The Hindus, right? So if you look at the Hindu, they got the straight hair. The Hindus. I mean, no, it might be not to be the Hindus. The Hindus, when they mix with these terus, they what gave them the hollow hair. But I'm talking about the Hindus got the 6 ether hair, right? But if you look at the Watusis, they got a different texture hair. If you look at the Sands man, they has a different 9 ether type hair, and the Twa man, it's got a different type of hair. So you look at them 4; those are the 4 original species. The oldest being the Twa, the Sands man, the Watusis. Well, really the Hindus came for the Watusis. Then Watusis will be so those 4 species. But if you look at the hair texture, you can clearly see the difference between the species. Now, the ones with the straight hair, that's how you know they were drafted out of the Hindus. The Caucasians, or these people you see with the straight hair, blonde hair, they were drafted out of the straight hair Hindus, which is really the Asiatic black man, who are what you calling from Hindustan, what you calling Hindus and Indians, right? They are the real Indians, these Hindus. But people was getting mad. Shout out Tashreeq Bey, because I heard Tashreeq Bey used to say that the word Indian don't apply to us, right? Because we're not Indians, right? But he got to realize is that these beings, these Indians, these Moors, or these tribe of Shabazz came over here and mixed in with us. So therefore, that'll classify us as Indians too, because a lot of y'all don't got straight woolly nappy hair. A lot of y'all got wavy 8, 7.5 hair, and it's due to these Moors or these tribe of Shabazz, and not all of them that came over were bad. Some of them that came over were good Moors, but for the most part, the ones that came over to hustle us and start to conjure to steal our land under the blood oath, the Papists, the bloody Papists, and the Babylonian magic, and pretty much going all the way back to still herding our kids. And Ashtar Command pretty much is in on this, man. Ashtar Command is the one that influenced Yacub. Ashtar Command is the one that influenced Hitler to create his superior Aryan race. The same ideology as Yacub. It's the same ideology, the same type way Hitler was trying to take over the world and rule the world. That's the same spirit. Yacub's spirit came back as Hitler. Let me say that again. Yacub's spirit reincarnated as Hitler. Telling you, man. You can put that together. Telling you. So, and he had the same ideologies to take over the world, but he was being driven by the Black Hand. And he was being driven by Ashtar Command. And Walter Plecker is Ashtar Command. Mark Twain is Ashtar Command. These boys Brugal Lords. I'm telling you, man. But hit that like button before you get out of here, man. Everybody got to get up out of here. We don't want to hold you long. No, y'all don't. People got to go to work. Some people off. They chilling with us tonight. We got like 100 people on here. Everybody hit that like, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to show us some love on a Cash App, we got it posted in the links. But what else I want to say? We'll take a couple questions, man. Anybody got any questions before we get out of here, man? Yeah, shout out Taj Tariq Bey, one of the master teachers on the land, man. Right? Yeah, but like I say, he got to keep in mind the Indians came mixed in with us. So we can be classified. It's what they call Indians, which really means technically can go into indigo, right? Because indigo means dark black, these dark skin, and these Indians. So how they got that name really? They really were dark black niggas, like these Moors. They were dark jet black niggas, indigos, people. And that's what Christopher Columbus said that when he got over here, he saw indigo people. Why? Because the Moors had already came over and mixed in with us before Christopher Columbus came. I got pictures of, man, look, the Bantu people was over. Look, the Bantu people was over here, man, look, millions of years. Like, look, man, they lying about the age of the humans on this planet. I'm telling you, the humans been around billions of years. I'm talking about in the Homo sapien state. The Armax been around millions of years. The Bantu people was before the Armax. Look, when the Twa man and the Sands man mixed in, they created the Bantu people. The Bantu people began mixing in with these Armax. I mean, with these Anarchies. The Anarchists were coming down, mating with the Bantu people, creating another race, several other races like this, the Zulu, other races, because the Anarchies had bigger body types and taller body structures. It gave the human a more of a bigger body structure when they began to mix. And that's why if you see the Shaka Zulu types or the LeBron James type body structures is Anarchy. Or like really Anthony Davis is an Enlil seed. He got the unibrow. He fit the whole description. He got the skin tone. A secret son of Enlil, because Enlil was still coming down and impregnating women. A secret son is Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie was Enlil's seed. And that's why they was calling him the Christ and all that in Africa, because he Enlil's child. I'm telling you, man. Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Hussle come down from Enlil. It's some man. Look, I'm telling you. Look, I got an uncle named Sinbad. That's Enlil's son, one of Enlil's sons. And I think Sinbad incarnated as Yahweh ben Yahweh at one point. But Sinbad, he a teacher on Nubaru, and Sinbad brothers, all of them, they look like Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle, that them people from that particular area in Ethiopia, it's Enlil's seed. The Ethiopians, the ones that look light-skinned looking, not the Somalian dark-skinned ones that come. That's Muhammad's people, and the people that's from Sudan that migrate up into Ethiopia. I'm talking about the light-skinned ones who mix with the pale ones, the ones they show you, the ones that always come over here that look like Kush in the holy tablets. Inky seed is the Nubians. The Nubians. Most of the people in Africa, a lot of them. But like, okay, so Enlil seed is us. Inky seed is us. We the American Negroes are Inky seed. With the final product, the final mixing that they was trying to get down to, the super Negroes that Hitler was talking about. That's why when he created his superior race, he took them to the Olympics and put them against the American Negro. One of this American Negro at the time, I think his name was Jesse Owens. And Jesse Owens Hitler had put his superior race through all these training programs and everything to make them superior under the commands and guise of Ashtar Command. But when they got there, they got their behind kicked, left in the dust by Jesse Owens, who practiced on the country roads running. He didn't even have all the special equipment and drugs that Hitler was using to soup his guys up, like a cheat code or something. So Hitler came to the conclusion that these Negroes are the end goal. So the Negroes in America are Inky seed. And then you got the Hamites who were in Little Seed, who hide in the desert, who are call themselves more Zionist Jews, and they really not the Jews. You really the Jews. They are the Jews that say they are. You know, they're Revelations 9, 2, and 9, Revelations 3 and 9. The ones that saying they Jews, but they're the black hand, white glove. And then the people that follow them, who are really their front man, they call themselves Jewish. And see, they don't call themselves Jews, they call themselves Jewish. The Canaanites, who are servants of servants to the Hamites, his brother, who are in Lil Seed. We Shamites. We the real Shamites in America. So Inky Seed is the American Negroes. Also, Tahuti Seed is the American Negroes. Tahuti is a son of Inky. One of his name is Ningazita. Right? Ningazita. See, Inky had 4 main sons. The oldest son name was Murdoch. Murdoch became known as Melchizedek, El Kadush, Amun in ancient Egyptian culture, Michael, the angel Michael in your Bible, who fought against the dragon in Revelations, Murdoch, and it's 2 Murdochs. And the only reason that happened, well, it's 3 really. One is Ashtar Command, stealing all our people names. They got their own Murdoch. And then it's Nenertu, who is Murdoch's first cousin, who is the oldest son of Inky, Enlil. He came posing as Murdoch sometime to these people. The anarchists used to do that. They used to come posing as to the humans, to trick the humans. They would poke, they had different technology where they could shade shift and hologram, and they would appear as the other person and tell them, "Oh, I'm Almighty Ra," but it really be Nenertu posing as Murdoch. So that's how that happens. But his 4 sons is Murdoch. Then the second oldest son, his name is Nergal, and then another son he had, which is his 3rd son, is Tahuti, who is Ningazita, and all of these brothers, except Nergal, was after the order of Melchizedek. Nergal, he joined the order of Melchizedek, but he de facto when he joined Nenertu to go against Murdoch. And they started building, him and Nergal and them started building nuclear bombs and started dropping them on Murdoch's people, Nergal and Nenertu. But and the other little brother name was Damuzi, who is Osiris. You know him as Osiris. That was the baby brother, Murdoch. And so people mistaken Murdoch for Tahuti, and a lot of us, it's a lot of people are students of the master teacher, and there's reason why is because master teacher wrote a book called The Wisdom of Tahuti, the ancient scroll or ancient wisdom, secret scrolls of Tahuti, and he talked about how he's Tahuti. And the reason why that he said that is because Doc said that different beings come through him and use him to talk to us through him. So at the time that he was writing the scroll of Tahuti, his little brother, was using his body to get certain information over to us, right? Tahuti. But keep in mind, Tahuti is taught by his older brother, Melchizedek. Tahuti is after the order of Melchizedek. But Tahuti and Melchizedek worked close together, and they were brothers, and they both had a higher level of creativity because it passed down from their father, Inky, who was also called Ptah, an ancient Kemet. Ptah was the one that set up the laboratory. Inky set up the laboratory. He had a laboratory that was partially underwater, where really it was 70% underwater and 30% above ground, called the Abzu. And and Ptah is another name for Inky in ancient Kemet. Yeah, and so both of them, if you look at the correlation, you'll see it that
Ptah is the creator, the fashioner, and he was building. He was at a laboratory supposedly in Memphis, right? Well, Enki had a laboratory in Memphis, and then you look at Enki, they call him the fashioner, the person that the creator, right? Because Enki made a lot of equipment to do the drilling for the gold. Yeah, Joseph Smith is an extraterrestrial Venerian. He's a Venerian. See, these Venerians were coming here and they were starting their own cults and religions. The ones that were disagreeable, and then the ones that were agreeable, some of them came to work with the government, like Val Thor and them. And the government wanted to dissect them, so they got the hell up out of here and went back to Venus. And his name was Val Thor, and really his name was Val. The reason why they called him Thor is because he was from the city of Thor. It's a city called Thor that's underground on Venus. It's two continents, two large continents. And it actually on Venus, on this continent Thor, it looked just like Australia. And they got advanced trains that run through these tubes, and they got teleportation booths, but they mostly live underground. Now Venus is not hot. I mean, not being, we're talking about Venus. Venus is not hot like you think. Like they teach us in school that Venus is melted hot with volcanoes. It's got volcanoes on it, and actually they're so advanced that they use the volcanoes to generate energy. And eventually Earth, starting 2030, Earth will be at this point where they can use volcanoes and utilize the energy from that volcano, because that's a form of energy. Volcano lava is high power energy once you know how to translate that. And that's really low level technology. That's like still type 0 using the volcano energy. So they just not using solar energy and all that. That's still, we coming out of type 1, type 0 going into type 2. Type 1 civilization. So on Venus they utilize the volcanoes, and but it looked like they got we already break it down. We got a tape called Field Trip to Venus for you newcomers. We got about 1,900 tapes out, but the Field Trip to Venus, we put that out about 5-6 years ago. You want to go check that out? We break all that down in there. But they on Venus they got these trees that get like 200 feet, and they real thick. And they block the type of leaves, the type of material, or the type of melatonin and chlorophyll in these leaves. It helps break the radiation down, the sun, the ultraviolet rays down, to where when they hit the ground, by the time they get to hit the surface, they'll be lesser than what they are. Then, not to mention, Venus got two layers of clouds. Like on Earth, you only got one firmament. Oh, you really got seven layers dealing with the with the bow, right? You got 7 layers, but they got 2 layers of clouds to help filter out the sunlight, because the clouds filter the sun, the radiation, right? And so they got 2 layers of clouds. So beings live on Venus on the surface, and mostly a lot of them live underground. Like the really technically, the only people that live on the ground really is the Caucasoid types, which is Val Thor and them, who are really refugees from Aldebaran. How Val Thor and them got to Venus is that they got chased by the reptilians. See, the reptilians set up a chicken farm on Aldebaran, and they made a deal with the Proconians to take their Albino race, and they was going to pretty much use them as a chicken farm. They put them on Aldebaran. But eventually a group got smart enough or more intelligent enough, and they wanted to break off from being eaten by these reptilians. So they tried to leave. They tried to leave Aldebaran. They came to Venus. But the sad part about it is the reptilians got wind of it and followed them here to the Venus, right? But Val told them, so they live underground. They were refugees from Aldebaran. But the native species, they look just like the Twi man. And keep in mind, those people, the Twi man, the Anunnakis were abducting Twi and Watusis, Sandsmans from Earth, and take them to Venus. And so Venus is populated with the same type of species as Earth. It's going back to the 4 original species. And but the only difference is
in one of the tribes, the women get taller than the men. The women get like 7 foot tall, and the women, they do all like the hun. The women do the hun, and they do all the other stuff while the men stay back and like tighten the like the place up. It's like a reverse culture up on Venus, right? And they got other weird creatures like the plant man. They got crossbreed between plants and humans. It's like 2 or 3 plants species. Like they got like one of the species got brought here, and it's called the Venus flytrap. And it's actually a living. Plants are living, but this thing actually eats other insects. This Venus flytrap, right? So we didn't want to hold you long, man. We've been on here a long time. But like I said, if you want to get more on that Venus information, is go watch my tape called Field Trip to Venus in the Galactic Family of Life book playlist. We got over 600 tapes on galactical stuff in that playlist. But we'll be back, man. Check out the tape me and Raw just did called The Origin of the Werewolves. Check out the tape that I just put out called The Frugal Lords Extraterrestrial Beings. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button before you get out of here, man. We out. Peace. One love. Right? And like I say, we're going to win this war. Why? Because we can dance and they can't. Why do?